What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I actually want to go over a bunch of different stories. We're going to touch on stimulus checks just a little bit, but the main thing is going to be talking about the new bills, the things that are coming forward. I want to talk about Bitcoin potentially hitting $10,000, so that'd be a big drop. Also going to talk about first responders and how there's a renewed push for a bill to help out first responders as well. And this also could be retroactive all the way back to 9/11. So this is something that I just want to bring up because I think these are all really important in the discussions as to what could potentially be in the next infrastructure package. So let's get into the update for today. First off, I just want to thank you guys for continuing to watch these updates. Always hitting that like button, it really does help out the channel. So let's get into the updates for today. First, we have Nancy Pelosi, who's really pushing for this child care, this expansion, this additional funding for child care. What we know is at this time, Nancy Pelosi wants to see child care in the next package, in the infrastructure bill. She's really pushing for this. What we know is that according to reports, this would most likely be in the social infrastructure package. She also said, and she also mentioned this on Twitter as well, that $225 billion would mean no low or middle income family would pay more than 7% of their income towards child care. That's huge. This is huge for a few reasons. First off, let's say you make $1,500. In most cases, it doesn't matter how much you make. In most cases, it does not matter. You go to a daycare service or a child care provider, and let's say they charge you $25 a day, or let's say $20 a day, just to make math simple. $20 a day, 5 days a week, that is $100 per week, or $400 at the end of the month. Let's say you make $1,500. If you make $1,500 and you're going to spend roughly a third of that income on childcare, that is where some parents are contemplating, well, does it even make sense for me to go into work? For some, it's no, it doesn't, because I'm going to spend the majority of my money paying for childcare, and then I got to pay for taxes, and then I got to pay for gas to get to and from work. In the end, sometimes people say, no, it's not worth it. So one of the things that Democrats want to do to try to get more people back into the workforce, and this is more parents, and again, understand for those that don't have children, this is something that they're looking at as like, well, what is this going to do for me? And the honest truth is right now Democrats are all in on parents and children because according to them, children are the ones that were disproportionately affected the most. So we'll see what happens here. But just to give you an idea, if you make $1,500, 7% of $1,500 is $105. So instead of paying $400 per month, you would only pay $105. So you are going to save about $300 every single month. Okay, that is big. $3,600 at the end of the year just on childcare, that's a huge savings. So Nancy Pelosi is right that this would be big for the American people. And if you make $250 or $2,500 per month, then you'd pay about $210 per month in childcare. So that's pretty big there. Now, because of all these talks for children and parents, many people that are retired, people that don't have children yet, elderly people that their children has gone off and aren't with them anymore. A lot of you guys are upset that there's nothing for you, and here's what you need to understand. The truth about what is going on right now is the next bill is going to be geared towards parents and children. And it is because Congress wants to pass more relief for children and parents because they say they have been disproportionately impacted by this pandemic. Experts are currently saying that many children will not be able to go back to their normal lives. They will not be able to fully recover from this pandemic after being cooped up for over a year in their homes and required to stop many of their extracurricular activities without any option to doing anything different. So experts are saying children need a lot of help right now. Parents are going to need a lot of assistance as well. And some say possibly pushing forward with some type of counseling, provide free counseling to children. That could be a big thing, because right now what a few lawmakers are saying is that we need to provide more for parents and children, because a lot of these parents are going to have to go and pay for some type of counseling to get their child back into that social atmosphere and interacting with other children. So we'll see. But again, this is just one of the current talks regarding and going for children and parents. So there's a lot for children and parents at this time, but there's still more for people that are seniors and elderly as well. What we do know is that right now Bernie Sanders is fighting for an expansion of Medicare and more relief for seniors. Bernie Sanders wants to see dental, hearing, and vision all covered for free under Medicare. He says this is essential. Dental, vision, and health and hearing is all part of health care. So he states this must be covered due to the high costs associated with vision and buying glasses, with hearing and buying hearing aids, and dental, because buying dentures or fixing your teeth is very expensive. It is not cheap. It is not cheap. No matter how old you are, no matter where you're at in life, no matter where you live here in the United States, dental, vision, and hearing are fairly expensive. Now, whether this happens or not, honestly, we don't know. This is where the big question is. What will be included into the next infrastructure package, and will it have more stimulus, and to what extent? Will it have a stimulus check? Some say that yes, they will only vote for this if it has a stimulus check. Well, according to multiple reports, right now, many other countries do not feel that the United States will pass a social infrastructure package, mainly because right now, Democrats are going to hold up their own bill. And this is mainly with Senator Joe Manchin, Senator Kyrsten Sinema, and people like that. Bernie Sanders could potentially be one of these holdups as well, because he could be fighting for more progressive policies like Medicare, $2,000 per month stimulus checks. We could see Chuck Schumer not bring a bill to the floor because it doesn't have any assistance or student debt relief for people that are in college or have been in the past. So there's a lot of stuff going on there. But what I can tell you is that the good news is that we will see more stimulus according to reports. Many experts believe that there is a higher chance of seeing additional stimulus. Whether it's a stimulus check, that's what we don't know. It's unlikely we get a social infrastructure package that doesn't include any stimulus whatsoever. Some do believe that a stimulus check will happen, but $1,000 would be the cap. Now, I don't know exactly where, I believe I read this off CNN or Fox, but they stated that the $1,000 would be the cap. I don't know exactly how they came up with that number. I don't know if that was something that was said by another lawmaker that I just missed. I just don't know. But they do say $1,000 would be the cap. Okay, so it could have something to do with the amount of current funding that is available. It could have something to do with the tax, the pay-fors that we're going to see, and we could potentially see a gas tax. So again, it's just something that we got to keep an eye on, but I wanted to fill you in on that update as well, because yes, there's still talks on stimulus checks, but the talks fluctuate whether it's good or bad, and whether it's going to be a higher stimulus check or a lower one, and if it goes to every single American or a more targeted group. So as talks fluctuate and shift, I promise I'll fill you in on all those updates. Now here's another big piece of legislation that came out recently as well. This is regarding protecting America's First Responders Act. This was something that I believe was actually introduced, I think last year, I think about a year ago. I could be wrong on this, but I think it was introduced about a year ago. But this bill, and I think this would be an incredible gesture, especially retroactive all the way back to 9/11. So what, 20 years ago? What we know, or coming up on 20 years, this bill would provide first responders with a federal benefit of $370,000 and education assistance of $1,200 per month. This would go to first responders that were permanently disabled in the line of duty. So that's actually pretty big there. Now, there is currently, I think it's called a PSOB, or first responder FROB or something like that. first responder officer benefit, or I don't know the exact terminology for it or the abbreviation, but there is a benefit out there. It's currently available to people that do get permanently disabled and can never, and I repeat, never again perform any compensated work, and they could get this benefit. But that would mean they could never perform any compensated work. Now, this new bill, this is the Protecting America's First Responders Act 2. I believe this was brought forth by Chuck Grassley, and I believe it passed the Senate this week. This new bill states, first responders whose work is a therapeutic purpose, involves simple tasks, or provides special accommodations can still receive this benefit. So, this would mean first responders, that's police officers, firefighters, EMTs, paramedics, those people. Hopefully, Capitol Police as well, but we'll see what happens there. But what we know is those people, those first responders, could potentially get $370,000 up front. Just here you go. Plus $1,200 per month as an education, what do they call it? An education boost or bonus, education assistance. And you could still potentially work for therapeutic purposes and anything that involves simple tasks. So that's actually pretty good. It would help out many first responders. And some experts do believe this would actually get more people to potentially, go and apply to become a firefighter, an EMT, paramedic, or potentially a police officer. So that's good news there, because we've seen over the past, I think few years, the numbers have actually been dropping and declining. So that's actually good news that we'd see a little bit more people go into that or those fields. Another thing that we actually heard yesterday, which I forgot to even mention this, was the White House has returned about $2 billion back to the Pentagon for military-related funds. The White House stated yesterday that this $2 billion will actually go towards 66 deferred projects, and it's actually going to go to other countries as well. They say that the funding is going to include about $10 million for missile field expansion in Alaska. About $25 million will go to a radio complex in North Carolina, and $79 million will go for upgrades to an elementary school for U.S. military children in Germany. So that is what we know right there. This is pretty much the $2 billion that the White House is taking back from funding from former President Trump's border wall. Something that I mentioned the other day is that Texas Governor Greg Abbott, he is actually going to put in, I believe, about $1 billion, maybe $2 billion, I can't remember exactly, about $1 billion or more into the actually building more onto the Trump wall. So we'll see what happens there if this actually gets accomplished. But Texas did get a decent amount of money from the stimulus fund, so they're going to use some of that money to close up the rest of the wall. So we'll see when that gets accomplished, if it does, and kind of when or what we will see in the process. And as we know a little bit more there, I promise I'll fill you in on that update as well. Also, here's a big thing. Anybody out there that is investing in Bitcoin, okay, if you have any Bitcoin, okay, I'm not here to tell you this is gonna happen. I'm not here to tell you, to warn you on anything. I personally do buy and sell Bitcoin. I buy and sell it usually every week. I'll buy it when it's kind of towards its bottom, and I'll wait for some indicators, some catalysts that come up, and then I'll sell it. I usually don't come on here and tell you, all right, today's the day you need to buy Bitcoin. Today's the day you need to sell it. I don't do that. If that's something that you guys want, kind of know exactly when I'm buying and selling certain cryptocurrencies or stocks, I could potentially do that as well. So if that's something you're interested in, let me know down in the comment section below. Just write stocks and cryptos, and I will try to fill that in, or kind of fit that into my uploads as well. But according to reports, odd makers are currently predicting Bitcoin will drop to $10,000 or less in 2021. Back in April, they said that there was a 20% implied probability that Bitcoin would drop to $10,000 sometime in 2021. But now that increased quickly to just under 58% implied probability. That's a sharp increase in just, a couple months. So that's actually pretty big. That has some people a little bit worried, but one thing I can tell you is odds makers are not always correct. So that's just what they're saying. Whether you want to bet on that, whether you want to go and sell your currencies, your Bitcoin, buy something else, totally up to you. But I thought that was interesting, and I want to just point that out because a lot of people have been asking if I do buy and sell Bitcoin, or buy Bitcoin if I have any. I do have Bitcoin, and yes, I usually buy and sell it. I don't hold it for very long. Now, whether you guys want to blast me for not holding and paper handing this, I just do what I do. This is the process. Nobody has to do what I do. For those that have held Bitcoin since it was very low, right, in the dollars. First off, congratulations, you're doing extremely well if you're still holding it. But that's just not my style. That's not what I do for cryptocurrencies. Now, the next thing is health experts. We're dealing with COVID. Health experts are saying that southern states have a real vulnerability to the Delta COVID variant. They are saying that due to the low vaccination rates in the South, this is something I actually brought up this morning as well, is that in the South, 4 of the 5 very low vaccination rate states are actually in the South. 4 of the 5. The 5th one is actually Wyoming. So 4 out of the 5 lowest vaccination rate states for adults and for teens as well are actually in the South. So right now, health experts say that the real concern is that the South will have the toughest time with this virus due to the fact that so many won't take the vaccine or have yet to contract COVID. But a new study has found that the Pfizer vaccine is 88% effective against the Delta variant. So hopefully experts are saying hopefully more people will go and get the vaccine due to the fact that this Delta variant is starting to spread across the US as well. So that's what we know right now. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please ask them down in the comment section below. Just trying to do another update today, get you guys updated on what's going on, not only with just stimulus, but the other talks and other bills as well. If you have questions on anything else, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Just want to thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday and have an incredible weekend as well. Consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.